What's up, sports fans? Welcome from the Grid to Rim Sports Talk Show. Another edition. We got a big one today. We have a lot of people coming back. My co-host Monty Brown, as always. Dave, Kevin, Brandon are all back again for another show. And we have a new guest today, Robin. Welcome to the show, Robin.
Hello.
Right.
So, Monty, you're surrounded by a bunch of football officials. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Hey, good.
I got dogs too, so trust me, I know. They're downstairs.
Oh, I did not want a yappy dog, and I got a yappy dog, and of course I set up by the front door.
So I'm lucky. My wife is taking care of it now. I'm really lucky.
Aaron's cutting John's hair, so as soon as the haircut is over, the dog will go in a different room. So
that's all good. We hope you like it. We keep it original here. So let's get into what we're gonna cover in the show today. Obviously, we're gonna cover a lot of coaching changes in the NFL, cover the NFC and AFC Championship games, and we're going to get into our Super Bowl picks. So that's what our show is going to be about today. So let's get into coaching, guys. Bellichek and Vrabel, two guys that haven't been hired. Do you guys think that's surprising? Monty, do you think that's surprising that Bellichek and Vrabel don't have jobs?
I'm a little surprised about Bellichek. I'm not sure if y'all heard me a couple of shows ago. I called it that, well, with McCarthy laying an egg at Dallas, I thought for sure Jerry Jones would bring him on board as a coach. But I am a little surprised that he's not on board. Rumor has it he had that Atlanta job, but he just wanted too much control. And Arthur Blank, the owner at Atlanta, is similar to Jerry. He controls everything. I mean, he's not as out there on television all the time, but he runs the show there. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised that he's not coaching anywhere for sure. I'm sure, especially with his defensive mind. Always had good defenses wherever he's went. Cleveland, New England, of course. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Defensively, I know he's always good. He always takes away your best player. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
You got to win with someone else. But I'm not surprised, though, because I think some of it, it's just my opinion. This is all about opinions on this show. I mean, I think some of it's his age because it's like, almost 72 years old or something like that. So I wonder if that's hurting him. I know age shouldn't be a factor, but I wonder if that is. And maybe just his style. I'll let the Seahawks fans talk about this, but I know I have a couple of Seahawks fans at my work, of course, living up here in Western Washington. And one of my coworkers who is a 12 fan says that because, the Belichick style won't match Seattle because Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick are two totally different people. Belichick's more easygoing. I'm not Belichick, but the Seahawks coach is more easygoing, and Belichick's more of a hard knocks, kind of hard old school kind of guy. So that's just my thoughts. I think some of it's just age, and some people are wondering maybe about did he have success because of Brady, and is he really the coach that everyone thinks he is? So I don't know. Do you guys have thoughts on that? Robin, you got thoughts on that?
I think that he's just lost touch. At least everybody thinks he's kind of lost touch. Specifically with the Seahawks, I think that obviously the front office people wanted to go younger. They wanted to get more fresh. They wanted to, and I feel like that Bill Belichick is just, he was good when he was good, but now if you're going to get rid of Pete Carroll, he was kind of starting to feels like it felt like to me anyways, he had the new team, he was on a new role, he was getting ready with this, whatever we have right now in our team, he was doing well-ish. I don't think you're going to go back to Bill Belichick, who had his time, and obviously he's still going in the wrong direction. I just think that he's out of touch. I don't think that in Seattle, you need somebody that's going to connect with the community, and there's no way that Bill Belichick's not into that. He's all about just
he's about X's and O's. Yeah, he's very straight-laced. Yeah, very straight-laced guy. He hates the media. And, Pete Carroll is a lot better with the media. He's more of a talker. He likes to talk, and Belichick hates to talk. We see how his attitude is with media. He looks like he's constipated all the time or something.
Well, he likes to talk about anything other than what the reporters want to talk about. If they want to talk about history with him, he'll go on forever talking about history or even history of the game. He just doesn't want to talk about the X's and O's of a specific game.
Yeah.
What's in his head or what's.
Yeah, he keeps it all keeps it confined within the team. He wants to keep it in the locker room. He doesn't want it outside the locker room. Dave, you got any thoughts on this Bill Belichick and stuff?
So first of all, I love Mike McDonald hire.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we need a defense. So in regards to Belichick, I don't know. You know, sure, he's a Hall of Fame coach. Hall of Fame coaches have Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yes.
That's the only reason he'll go in the Hall of Fame. I looked something up. Bill Belichick's record without Tom Brady is 84-103.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
You know, with Brady, it's 249 and 75.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a huge discrepancy in there. So, I think Belichick wanted too much power in Atlanta, and obviously that's the only option he had. Everybody else is going a different direction, going younger, really. Except for San Diego.
I think age did have a factor. Like I said, I do believe that.
Yeah, except San Diego, who they got a proven winner with Harbaugh. As much as I despise the guy, I mean, he wins everywhere he goes.
I'm so glad they got him
for a couple years.
He does.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a timeline on that. What?
Well, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, he's got Justin Herbert, who's got six or so more years, so that's right within kind of Harbaugh's time frame. So
for sure, I really I've always liked Justin Herbert, and so I feel like that I see them winning a lot.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, I think he'll be successful there. Harbaugh brings energy. There's no doubt about that. He's got an ego, but he brings a lot of energy, and he does win everywhere he goes. Took him a while.
Go ahead.
No, it took him a while to get a ring at Michigan, but he finally got it, and then he left. So some people are surprised that he left, but I'm not, because Michigan can't offer what the Chargers are offering him money-wise, so he was gone. So
one coach that is kind of under the radar is Dave Canales at Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the quarterbacks he's worked with and their improvements. So I mean, just kind of keep your eyes on Bryce Young the next couple years.
Okay.
See what happens. See if there's any drastic improvement, because he's a quarterback wizard, is Canales. So I see good things for Bryce Young and the Panthers moving forward. Because their defense is pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, they need more weapons on offense. Bryce Young needs more talent around him.
Yeah,
they're receiving. They have no receivers, so they got to build, or they have to build around him. So that's how I see Carolina getting better. They need to build. Brandy, you got any thoughts on Bill Belichick not having a job?
Yeah, kind of a little bit what everyone else said. Agree with Robin. I think he's out of touch at this point. I don't, but you also look at him. Yeah, he's a legendary coach, Hall of Famer. And then what Dave said about the record with Brady, without Brady, is he a fraud for real? I don't know. I wouldn't really say so, but having Brady helps look at it that way. The thing with Belichick is,
all right, I'm leaving now.
For him to demand full control, why would you give him full control? So I saw a stat. He hasn't drafted a Pro Bowler since 2013. And if you look at how cheaply you give away Pro Bowls now, I mean, Geno was at the Pro Bowl. Teddy Bridgewater is a two-time Pro Bowler.
He threw 3 interceptions in flag football. 3.
Right.
How do you not draft a Pro Bowler even?
Wow.
You can't give this guy full control. He's not drafting the right players. He's drafting Division III college players in the first round, second round. And also in this day and age, it's a lot more being relatable to the players as opposed to that hard-nosed, tough coach that's gonna just he's not that interactive with the players. I feel like he's out of touch that way. But
yeah.
Obviously, he's a smart guy. He knows how to game plan. But when it comes to relating to players, building a roster, he's just not the guy for you. And
not
he's wanting
anymore.
to.
Yeah, before he always had the guys that were in his system. Tom Brady made like average receivers, in my opinion, look pretty good in the years. Like, you know, so he was really good at getting a receiver that fit what he wanted, and no one knew who the heck they were, and they were pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And some guys came out of nowhere out of New England's like, who in the heck is this guy? So I do give that's more of a Tom Brady thing, but I agree with you. Yeah, he is out of touch. I think Mike Vrabel is similar. He's just a little bit younger, but he is a player. You know, Belichick didn't play in the NFL, but of course Mike Vrabel did play for the New England Patriots with Belichick. And do you think that's why Vrabel doesn't have a job? Because he's just another 20-year younger Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
Like he didn't get hired because he's like 50 years old. He's my age.
I don't even know how I don't know why they fired him. I feel like that they were in the same, like they were doing well in a good spot. I don't know. I was perplexed when he was fired, and I don't know.
Yeah, I would think you would want a coach off the Belichick tree, so to speak.
Vrabel's the only one that's been successful. If you look at all the other guys, everyone else that's left from Belichick, they haven't succeeded, and he never coached with Belichick. He was just a player with them.
Right. His assistant coach has not done good. Like that Las Vegas Raiders coach who got fired early this year. That was his second coaching stint. McDaniels, whatever his name was, he got fired several years ago. Then went back to Bill Belichick in New England. He tried again. He laid another egg. So I agree with that, Kevin. You make a very good point. It seemed like his coaches haven't done well, but Vrabel was a player though, so that's a little bit different. He's the only one.
I'll be honest. I'm not surprised that that Belichick didn't get hired, but I am really surprised that Vrabel didn't get hired.
Right.
He didn't even really get any interviews from what I heard, which was even more surprising to me, because if it was before we hired McDonald, I was thinking, I was like, man, I wouldn't mind having Vrabel here in Seattle as the head coach. I think he's a great coach. He just hasn't had the support of the front office that he needed to succeed.
But do you think his style would match in Seattle? Kind of like what I said about Belichick. That's why I thought that was the reason why maybe they didn't want to go with Belichick either. But Vrabel is a lot younger though and has had success. But
I think he runs a very similar program to Pete Carroll, and that it's about smash nose football. It's about
they like to run the ball,
line of scrimmage and running the ball and playing good defense. And him being a former player, that was what he played, and that's what he's coached. And I think that he would have plugged right in with the team that we had and been able to give them a fresh take on some things and keep moving in the direction the team was moving.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting point. My work buddy thinks differently, but there's a lot of opinions out there. He thinks it was because his style doesn't match, but there's so many opinions out there. No one knows exactly what it is, but we all debate about it. We all talk about it.
Well, I think he got let go for the same reason that Pete did, is that he had a couple mediocre seasons.
Yeah, back-to-back mediocre seasons, and he was gone.
I think the ownership was like, all right, it's either playoffs or bust, and the way things are, it's you either lose to win or you got to win.
Yeah, just win now. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
I think that might be one.
Go ahead, Rob.
I also think that might be one. That's okay. I'm sorry. I talk over.
No, go ahead, Rob. I'm keep on cutting you off.
I think that might be one of the reasons that that Vrabel didn't really get a look at the Seahawks, because I think that I believe that the Seahawks they want like to start all over. They want to like clean slate. They don't want, like, I feel like that obviously they picked up isn't the new coach, he's a brand new head coach. Like I don't think that they wanted somebody with a history or with a they have that with Pete Carroll. If you want that history, you have that in Pete Carroll, and it's not like he's not losing anything. He's, he has the energy, he's there, like he wanted to stay. And so I think if you get rid of Pete Carroll, it's like I said, when everybody was talking about Mike Holmgren has to go, who do you get instead? Like, who do you replace Pete Carroll with? Somebody completely different, somebody that has potential, that has that energy, that's bringing that fire, that's different. You want something different, not something that people go, well, Tennessee was doing okay, you know,
Yeah.
why are we bringing them in? You know, we were doing okay too. So
Right. Very good
Here's
point,
the thing. Here's what I think about Vrabel. That front office set him up to fail. You trade away your best player, AJ Brown, and then you
Yes.
bring in DeAndre Hopkins late. You trade away Kevin Byard for a 4th rounder. He's one of the best
that's
safeties in
crazy.
the league, and he's still got a few years left. He was given a task to win in a division that's on the rise with the Jags and the Texans having their quarterbacks, and he still has Tannehill getting $25 million a year annual.
Yeah.
They strapped him for cash. It was an unfair situation, but that's what happens with a lot of coaches. And the team at their peak was very good, especially defensive scheming within his specialty, but they didn't have an offense to get them over the hill. So I think
they had Derrick Henry.
And Derrick Henry, Derrick
He's
Henry.
declining, I think. He's declining a little bit.
Yeah.
So
he didn't look like Derrick Henry of old this year.
Oh no.
I mean, he didn't look the same.
Those legs can't stay fresh forever.
No.
When you're just plowing through people, you can't just keep doing that.
Running over people. Yeah.
No. Me and Monty think the Cowboys should have picked him up, but Jerry Jones is an idiot, so he doesn't do stuff like that.
Yeah, he would have helped him for sure.
I have a question for the Cowboys fans, though.
Oh no, God! There's a lot of questions for us.
Here we go.
What y'all think about if there's any fire to the smoke of Rex Ryan for y'all's defensive coordinator?
Well, they hired Zimmer.
Oh, they hired Zimmer.
They did hire Zimmer. Yep.
When did they hire him?
Yesterday.
Like yesterday.
Oh, okay. I checked. I think 2 days ago. I saw these Rex Ryan rumors.
Zimmer's hired, but I'm not crazy about him. But we'll see.
I would have loved to see Zimmer here.
You know what? To answer your question, his twin brother was there about 10 years ago, and they just like to blitz. And you know what happens when you blitz? You get burned.
Yeah.
And you can't do that anymore in this league. So, no. I was okay. I like Zimmer.
Yeah.
I hope Zimmer does well. I didn't like him as a head coach in Minnesota. I think he laid some eggs. I think he kept him out of some playoffs, but he might be a lot better as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think he's a better defensive coordinator than a head coach. Let's talk about Harbaugh before we get into our next subject. Do you guys think Harbaugh is a good hire for the San Diego Chargers? What do you guys think on that, Monty? What do you got on Harbaugh?
Yeah. He's going to a team where the cupboard's not bare. I mean, Eckler had a down year, but Harbaugh's an offensive-minded coach. He's going to turn that around right away. He's going to get Mike Williams back. Keenan Allen had one of his best seasons. He's finally healthy. I did at first want him to stay at Michigan, but they're losing everybody.
Yep.
Quarterbacks going to the draft. I think they're losing their entire offensive line. Running backs going to the draft. So, yeah, he left Michigan at the right time. They're most likely not going to run it back this year. So, yeah, he went to the right team. That Chargers team is ready to win with him. Yeah, their team's ready to go. They needed a coach. And they
Chargers always do weird things to lose games. So maybe he'll turn that around. They have a bad habit of like having this game won, and all of a sudden they turn around and lose this game. Everyone's shocked. I mean, the playoff game last year was a perfect example against the Jaguars with the quarterback being down 27-0 at halftime, and they came back to win the game. He threw 4 interceptions in the first half, then 4 touchdowns in the second half, and they came back to win. That game was absolutely mind-blowing. So Chargers do very weird things like that. So hopefully he can get that turned around, change the mindset. I think it's just culture and mindset. So
I think that's what Harbaugh specializes in, is building that team, building that mindset and that culture around the team.
Yeah.
And those players, they love playing for Harbaugh. Everywhere he goes, the players love playing for him.
Yeah.
And the front office hates him, but he fights hard for his players. So I understand why they love him, and he's going to get that ship turned around, and they're going to start winning those games, especially with Herbert. That guy is a stud.
Yeah.
Herbert is a stud. He's a beast.
Herbert coming back. Can't forget him. Yes.
Yeah.
I think, my opinion on that, and I am a huge Jim Harbaugh hater. I don't like him. I never have. I like John Harbaugh, but I don't like Jim. But I think that this was and I'm probably going to eat my words at some point, but I think this was a better decision for Harbaugh than it was for the San Diego Chargers. I think this is a great personal decision for Jim Harbaugh. It was a good team. They have a good, like they've got Justin Herbert, who I adore. I think that they've got a solid team. They really should. They've had a solid team for a couple of years. So I think it's good because Jim Harbaugh has done well. He's a player's coach. He kind of, like he has some experience. He's been to the Super Bowl. Obviously he's, national champion or whatever, went to I don't even know if they won. I'm so
They
bad.
did. Michigan finally won.
I don't even know who won because I'm not a fan. And I just was protesting the whole time because I can't stand him so much. But I think that this was a good move for Jim Harbaugh more than the Chargers, but the Chargers are going to benefit from it too.
Yeah, I agree. Harbaugh wins everywhere he goes. He's a player's coach, just like everyone's kind of said already. And yeah, he just wins. Some people don't like him. I'm a Michigan fan. Monty knows that, but I've questioned him a lot in the past. I'm a Michigan fan. I still don't jump on his bandwagon. See, some people jump on the bandwagon just because he's your team's coach, but I've always scrutinized him. I think before I used to think he used to talk a lot of talk, but not walk the walk. But he finally kind of answered the bell this year because he finally won the national championship. He finally got over that hump of losing 6 bowl games in a row, which is driving me crazy. But he finally got over that. So now he's a champion, so they can't take that away from him. So yeah, I think he'll do well though. Let's get into the big subject. Give us a lot of ratings here. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Robin, I'm gonna put you out there just because you're the only woman in our group. So what do you think about Taylor Swift? I don't have problems with her personally, but I don't like that they show her every single time that Kelsey catches the ball. They got to show Taylor Swift. That's what drives me crazy. Like, okay, he caught a ball. Just keep on showing the game. Show the game. Get off Taylor Swift. I get it. She's a billionaire. So what do you think, Robin?
Yes. Okay, so I have a lot of different opinions that come from a lot of different viewpoints. So there's, as a football fan, I'm like, oh my God, I don't care who's dating who. I really don't. However, like as a football fan, at all of the Seahawks game, they show like the guys walking in and what their fashion and what they're wearing and stuff like that. I love that part of it. As a woman, I'm into fashion. I have a clothing business. I like that. But so I feel like that Taylor Swift is kind of like one of those accessories to this is cool to bring in other people that may not be into the X's and the O's.
Right.
As a woman, I feel like all of us women hating on Taylor Swift about whatever, I feel like that we should celebrate it. Like how many women get the opportunity to be like the center of attention when their man is doing the work and getting the job done?
Yeah.
How many women get to have that? Like, I mean, she has her own stage. She doesn't need to be who she is. And I feel like if we want to say, go like, I'm woman, hear me roar, let her have her moment. Like, why are we like hating on her? Like, there's that part of me that I want to celebrate that. Like, if we're telling our girls to be who they are and whatever, and if who you are and you're like dating the star football player, own that. Like, be in, whatever. But at the same time, as a football fan, I'm like, dude, I don't care what they look like. The same as I don't really care how Jason Kelce is celebrating when he's not on the field and he's watching Travis Kelce. I think like we have this like love affair with the Kelce family, but I think that they're so relatable, especially after the Netflix show or whoever had the show. I don't know.
The older brother had it. Yeah, it just came out. I need to watch it. Yeah, Jason Kelce had it last year during her Super Bowl run when they lost to Kansas City. Yeah.
I mean, I love that. Like, it was so good.
good.
It was so personable. It just really made me fall in love with Jason Kelce as a person, and even his wife. They met like on Match, and she didn't like. It was just this weird. The whole story is. I just love it. And after the Super Bowl, he's like, when his daughter said, "I didn't want Uncle Travi to win," like it just got your heart. You're like, oh, it's so cute. But I think I like that it makes them hurt. Like it kind of makes Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce as a couple like slightly human, and people like to sort of see what's going on. It's probably good for football ratings in the NFL. Like, but I don't like.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to hate
Roger
on
Goodell
her.
is very happy with Taylor Swift.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. And I think that it's good. It's probably good. It's a good PR move. But I honestly like, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a Swiftie. I like her music. I don't hate her music.
I don't know any of her songs, but I like her. I mean, she seems like a good
I realized that I know a lot more Taylor Swift songs than I thought I did. But like my daughter and I went to a Taylor Swift concert when she was younger, but it was because somebody gave us tickets. But I think that it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think for women, we should stop hating on other women regardless in general. Like that's one of my big soapboxes. But I think that stop biting me. Sorry. I think that for football, it's good. Judy is not a huge Taylor Swift fan, apparently. but I think that
good dog.
Yeah, I think that's where I land.
Team Selena.
Exactly right.
Well,
yes.
Here's the interesting thing, because I was texting the guys before I asked you to join the show, Robin. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the Kansas City Ravens game, and it was very interesting how people reacted when they showed Taylor Swift. Almost all the guys in the bar booed her. Boo! Get her off the TV. All the women were like, "You go, girl, you go!" Yeah,
right.
Woo! They were backing her up. So I was just tripping off of that. I was like, "Wow, I'm seeing some different styles here," but it was interesting. I didn't have a problem with Taylor Swift. I love what you said, Robin, because she isn't doing anything wrong. She's just watching her boyfriend, whoever, husband, best half, whatever you want to call him, play the game. Right. So the one thing I didn't like, and she had nothing to do with it, so this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift personally, but I know I talked with Monty about this, and I think I texted the group. One of my ex-uncle's wives said something on Facebook, and she didn't say something, but she forwarded a message, and some guy like put out this whole guilt trip saying, "Hey, why are people hating on Taylor Swift? She's a multimillionaire. She's got like 300 plus awards. How many awards do you got? Like she can do this and that. She's been a sexual assault victim, and she fought her case for only $1 because it wasn't about the money. It was about her winning the sexual assault case because she wanted to stick up for herself and stick up for women. So yes, I support that 1,000% because I have a wife and I have a daughter. So yeah, I get it. Yeah. So I'm with Taylor Swift as a person. I just don't like how he was like running down this guilt trip. Like to me, it was like guilt trip lane. Like, why are you giving this guilt trip? Because everyone's gonna have different opinions out there. I don't think people are assaulting. At least I'm not trying to offend her as a woman. But I like, for me, it's just about football. Like that's how I feel. Like I know she's a good person, but I don't need to see her throughout the whole entire show. That's just me. But do you guys have do you guys have opinions on that, Robin? Anyone else?
Yeah. My whole thing of Taylor Swift has been, this is the NFL tapping into a demographic of viewership that they won't ever get. And if you remember, back in the day, NFL used to do this with showing Jessica Simpson every time Tua would throw the ball. So,
that's right.
Yeah. Yep. So this isn't anything new. I have some numbers right here. So Taylor Swift has generated $331.5 million between print, digital, radio, TV highlights, and social media. Travis Kelce's jersey sales spiked 400%. And surveyed through Ad Taxi in November, 45% of respondents said Taylor Swift impacted their interest in football. The number jumped to 70% among dedicated fans, who are also found to be 3 times more likely to buy NFL merchandise. She's also making money for other people in the NFL. Kyle Jusic's wife, she had an 800,000 jump in Instagram followers, and now the league's able to brand her apparel for her designing brand. So she's making people money, and the NFL loves their money. So
yeah. So is Kyle Jusic's wife going to design something for the Super Bowl?
Maybe another jacket. Yeah.
She did have a different jacket that had Kelsey on it or something. I saw that like a month ago. She was wearing it. Like,
so that was his wife. Okay, that makes sense.
That's how it happened, because she's the one who made. Everyone was like, "Oh, I love Taylor's jacket," and so Taylor. I don't remember if it was Taylor or Kyle Jusic. I don't know if it was Taylor or the husband who said, "Hey, that's my wife. She made this." So he promoted his wife as well as Taylor promoted her too. So I think that's like, I love that part of the story.
That part's really cool. Yeah. My wife said the same thing you said, Robin. My wife just knows nothing about football. I mean, she's Japanese. They know soccer and baseball, so football's new to her.
Baseball.
Yeah.
So, and baseball, soccer, that's their sports, man. So she knows nothing about it, but she said the same thing you did. Like, hey, she's bringing them money. I'm sure all the Kansas City Chiefs fans are happy. The Kansas City Chiefs owner is happy. I'm like, yeah, you're dang right. And I'm sure the NFL commissioner Goodell's happy, just like what Brandon said. The money she's made is insane. So, from a money perspective, yeah.
Not only that, but here in the betting world, the Travis Kelce's over numbers are being bet very heavily.
Yeah.
I have him for an anytime touchdown.
He had a very off season, but he's showing up in the playoffs. He's turning it on in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but he did not have a good regular season, but the playoffs he's been like the old Travis Kelce. It seems like, man. He has
it cracks me up how everybody says how Taylor Swift's always being shown. It's like somebody went through and watched the AFC Championship game. She was on a total of 44 seconds.
Yeah, so it's not that much. Yeah.
So yeah, it's 0.3% of the game is all they show her.
I think it's just perception. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it is perception because people, are, I don't know. Well, I don't mind it. I mean, they show fans all the time anyway. So,
right.
I mean,
yeah. Well, usually they show like the mom and dad is like a guy who's his debut game. Like they'll show the mom and dad in the stands. Like this is his first game. They show the.
Yeah, but you also got to remember how much publicity did Mama Kelce get last year?
Oh my God!
For sure.
I mean,
we have a love affair with the
over the top compared to Taylor.
Well, her little split jersey thing.
It didn't start with Taylor.
Cool.
No, exactly. So
yeah.
I wanted a split jersey like her because when I saw the split jersey of the Super Bowl last year, I thought that was awesome. And
yeah, that was cool.
I wanted it because one kid goes to UW, the other one went to Wazoo, so I was driving around the neighborhood. I need to get a split jersey like Mama Kelce because I need a half UW and half Wazoo in this walk.
I found a place that makes them, but you basically have to buy 2 jerseys and then they sew them
together.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Well, yeah, I bet that
makes sense.
Yeah.
So it ends up basically costing you 2 jerseys plus a little extra for them to cut and sew them.
Okay.
Sure.
Wow. All right. Well, you go, Taylor Swift. I'll support you.
Have a quick story.
Swift Bowl or Super Bowl? I think it's the Super Bowl, but some people are calling it the Swift Bowl. That's kind of messed up, but it's kind of funny though too at the same time.
One of my favorite pieces of apparel. I have an online thing that I represent clothes. We have intergraphic tees. They have like people don't like some of her followers. The theme is I'm rooting for Taylor's boyfriend. Like they don't even know the Chiefs. They don't know Travis Kelce. They're rooting for Taylor's boyfriend because it's all about
Yes, I have a story. I have a coworker, and this kind of fits what we're talking about. She started subscribing because of Kelce and Taylor. Well, mainly Kelce. Women like Kelce. They were supposed to go to a concert that week when Kansas City was playing Miami, when the whole country was freezing up in Albuquerque, and that concert was canceled. So they looked up some tickets, $50 to go to the Kansas City game, and they went. This lady knows nothing about football. Now, I mean, she's a big fan of Kelce, and she loves the story of Taylor Swift. So yeah, this is what it's brought. We're talking about it, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So yeah, every time they show her, I roll my eyes a little bit like, oh, again, but hey, it's bringing money to a sport that we all love here. And that's the best part about it.
Yeah. Sure. And it's cool about your friend. I'm glad she subscribed to our show. And
yeah, appreciate it, Maria. Thank you.
Yeah, and she went to a game for because the ticket prices lowered tremendously because it was like 30 to below zero. So that was easy to get into that game. So that was pretty cool for her to get in fairly cheaply. Plus paying for the airplane tickets. That's cool. Her and her friend went.
Yeah.
Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this show though. Let's talk about some recaps of the championship games from this past weekend. We'll start with Chiefs and Ravens first, since that was the first game. Ravens were disappointing. I wasn't disappointed they lost because I don't like them, but they came out really flat. Their offense really struggled. Chiefs controlled the whole entire first half, and I thought the Ravens controlled the whole entire second half. But the problem is they didn't score because they had the 2 big turnovers in the fourth quarter: the fumble in the end zone for a touchback, which was a good call because that ball was out before it crossed the line. That was a good call by the officials. And then Lamar Jackson throws into triple coverage into the end zone, gets it intercepted. So that was pretty much the game. So the Ravens didn't play well. Now it's like Lamar Jackson's first ever championship game. But the stats were Mahomes was 30 out of 39, 241 yards. Pacheco, 24 carries, 68 yards, 1 TD. Travis Kelce, who played like a beast, the old Travis Kelce, 11 catches, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. They had 319 total yards offense. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 20 out of 37, 272 yards, but a lot of those came in the second half. 1 TD, 1 interception. He was a leading rusher also, which isn't surprising. 8 carries, 54 yards. But I was surprised how they couldn't run the ball. I thought the other running backs for Baltimore would play a lot better. They did nothing in the running game except for Lamar Jackson. And Zach Flowers was the leading receiver, 5 catches, 115 yards, 1 TD, but he had the big turnover in the end zone. And they had 336 total yards offense. So they had a little more offense, but a lot of that came in the second half. Brandon, what's your take on this game? I was disappointed in the Ravens. I thought they would play better at home.
Yeah, same. Ravens did not show up. Lamar was so off. He missed so many throws. A lot were batted down to the line of scrimmage. Chiefs defense is just legit. Mahomes played like he's been there before, and he has. He completed his first 10, 11, 12 passes.
Yep.
Some of those was just incredible catches by Kelce. He played great. It was really disappointing. Big thing was Zay Flowers being the best and the worst player in the field. For all our referees here on that taunting penalty, I saw like 5 reasons for a taunting. I don't know about you guys.
I had reason. I would have thrown it if I saw it. Yeah, he taunted him.
Oh yeah.
My dad said that's what he gets for fumbling. He said that was his karma. That's my dad. My dad said poetic justice, but I told my dad, like, yeah, but he already got penalized for taunting. So I don't know if it's poetic justice, but I get my dad's point. He thinks it is. What goes around comes around. That's my dad.
The penalty was karma, and then it was just funny for the fumble. So.
Yeah. He tried diving in and then plucked it right out, man. Like that was a great strip.
Yeah,
great strip.
It was.
He was the best player, but like I said, the worst because he had that huge fumble, man. But it happened.
He made the big plays. He made the big plays. He made the big mistakes.
Yep. But when you're the main guy, that's going to happen a lot. You're loved one week and you're hated the next. Move on. So,
but he's not like
he's
not
young. He's a
supposed
rookie.
to be the main guys.
He's a rookie.
Yeah. But I feel like so full disclosure, I didn't watch all of the games because I was reffing flag football that day. And that's my excuse. But where was Lamar? Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback. Why did they try to change his game so much we've seen this so many times in other games and other why change it? You don't have to you've made it this far doing what you do. Keep doing what you're good at. Back in the day when the Seahawks were Super Bowl 40 that year, we ran left every single time through Walter Jones and Steve Hutchinson. We could have told them we're going to run that way, and we still did. So why did they have to it's almost like they tried to get cute with Lamar Jackson and do these things that he doesn't do. Run the ball. Why are we changing? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of that was the Chiefs schemed up defensively. They just loaded the box and they were going to make Lamar beat him with his arm.
They did.
And they weren't rushing. They were holding the lanes and not letting him get outside, so he couldn't get a lane. So he had to throw the ball. And I think, like you said, I think they tried to get too cute with it instead of just, even though they know it's coming, just keep doing it because it works.
Right.
I agree with the whole stick with what works thing, except for the next game, Detroit. We'll talk about later. So, but
Yeah.
I am a big fan of sticking with what works, but
Yeah.
except with
So
the
I
exception
got one thing
of
to
Dan
say.
Campbell. But we'll get into that in a minute. But
I got
What you
one
got
thing
there?
to say about the Baltimore game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
100%.
Lamar Jackson right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
you know, sure, Kansas City schemed to keep him from running as much, but when he gets to the playoffs, he tries to prove he's somebody he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think whoever said Robin said, be who you are.
yeah,
You
Yes.
know?
absolutely.
But but when Lamar doesn't want to be who he is, he's not going to win playoff games.
Yep.
He won the divisional round because he ran the ball a lot
Yep.
more.
Yeah, he went off.
Yeah.
And to
Well, and you
that
say-
point, I feel like early in the season he was throwing a lot more than passing. I know because I lost some player prop bets on him when he did that. But when he got that contract, I think he wanted to prove, oh, I can be a throwing quarterback too. And then he went and did his thing with running, even though he had some success. But he wasn't playing teams of this caliber at a game at this level. Yeah, but and I think not only on him for not running enough, some of the plays called, you're only down 17-10. Why are you constantly throwing like you've got a huge comeback to go? Like it's one score. It's one score.
Right.
I agree.
Sure.
Some of it was the play calling, and some of it was like Dave said. I was going to say that. I think some of it was the play calling. Some of it was just Lamar Jackson not having a good game. But the play calling definitely had a big effect on it. Huge effect.
Yeah.
Let's get into the next game. The one I really want to talk about. The Lions at 49ers. Oh my God.
Man.
Lions dominated the first half, up 24-7 at halftime. It looked like the 49ers are going to be packing their bags and going home. Second half, San Francisco gets the ball first. They score the opening field goal to make it 24-10. So it went from a 3-score game to a 2-score game. This is where I have problems with Dan Campbell. It all started in the middle of the third quarter. He could have kicked a field goal to make it another 3-score game.
3 scores.
27-10. But I do understand that he was trying to go for the jugular because he thought if he scored the touchdown, he will break their backs. So I understood the first time going for it, but the next 2 times I thought the man was a complete idiot. Sorry.
Thank you.
But I was like, dude, what are you doing? But one thing Detroit Lions fans are saying is like what Robin said, hey, don't change what's worked. And he has gone for it a lot this year. But I was like, yes, but this is an NFC Championship game. If you lose, you are not playing anymore. You are done. You're not going to play next week. So, and plus, his team was bleeding badly. When the San Francisco 49ers have all the momentum and they're just controlling the whole entire second half, you need to do something to stop it. And I think kicking a field goal would have stopped momentum, especially would have made it. And the second time, completely boneheaded because they're down 27-24. He needs to tie this game.
Well,
And
kicking that field goal would have given that defense almost an extra like 5 minutes of sitting on the bench to catch their breath.
Exactly.
You kick the score and then you got your TV timeout, then you go for the kickoff and then another TV timeout and then they're out there. So it gives your defense a breather so that they can kind of get themselves figured out again and get back out there and be ready to defend.
Exactly.
We're not in that.
The third one, I don't get the third one. Yes, he got a touchdown, but what if he didn't get a touchdown? You're down by 10 points. If you don't get this 4th and goal, you're still down by 10 points. You have no chance of onside kick. So I didn't understand the mentality of that. Yes, he got it. So if they get the onside kick, it's much easier to kick a field goal to tie than to try to score a touchdown. So I get it from that perspective, but what if you did not get that touchdown? It's already game over. I feel like he gave his team like less of a chance. Like you're just like, I couldn't believe 3 times in a row. Yes, Dan Campbell's a good coach. I heard he's won some kind of Coach of the Year award, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that, but I think he has brought the Detroit Lions out of the ashes. But this game, here's the thing, Detroit Lions fans, will you guys get back? everyone thinks they could get back. Like, and I'm just like, hold, not so fast, because the Cowboys haven't been back in 28 years. Buffalo Bills haven't been back since the mid-90s. Seattle Seahawks fans, you guys have not been back to a championship game since 2013 or 14 or something like that. So
New York Jets, 1969.
Wow, I wasn't even born yet.
I honestly feel like he kind of got, I don't know if he got complacent or like he didn't have the in-game like sense that he needed to have as a coach. Like as a coach, you have to be able to, it's almost like we use this at school all the time, read the room. Like you need to realize what's going on. Yeah. And at a certain point, you have to, like, yes, you have we're going to go 100% balls to the wall. We're going to do it. And that's how Dan Campbell is. And I like that energy about him. Like, go out there and be crazy. But at a certain point, you have to be realistic and you have to look at where you're at you have to look at where you're at. Like any of those things could have changed a little bit of a shift to that momentum of being able to do something in the game. And it's almost like every time they didn't make they didn't make the fourth down. It's like they just lost air in their sails and they just died. Like, I just feel like that between being complacent or overly arrogant, you need that arrogance and confidence, but you also have to have game sense. And I feel like that's where that kind of,
he has no game sense. Yeah. I think, Kevin, you texted something about that. Like, I think you said something about that after the game. Down one of the texts, like, about a game set. He hasn't learned. You said he hasn't learned that side of it yet.
He'll get there. I mean, he's still pretty new at coaching, but game sense. I think the thing with that game, all the momentum changed on that interception that should have been.
Yeah.
That bounced out of his hands and then was almost a touchdown. If that guy would have scored a touchdown, it would have reminded me of the ball bouncing off of Jose Canseco's head and going over the wall for a home run. It was that close to just being just a blunder of a play. But that was where all the momentum, I thought, changed right there. Was they had three huge plays in a row that all just went San Francisco's way. And
McCaffrey. And then had a really good
around.
Yeah,
he's a stud.
Yeah, seems to me.
Go ahead.
One thing to me, and this has been the theme for both championship games, is teams getting away from what got them there or what was successful. Detroit had 140 some odd yards rushing the first half.
They didn't run the ball. You're right.
The second half, 34. You're up by I don't know how many touchdowns. Why are you throwing the ball?
Right.
You milk that clock and get out of there. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, Monty. Detroit ran the ball 6 times in the second half with a 20-point lead.
Why?
6. No why. Don't know why.
And Dave had mentioned it, saying that San Francisco was suspect on the run, but we didn't know that because, like we talked about in previous shows, San Francisco was always up by so many points.
Yeah.
Teams had to throw the ball, so we didn't know they sucked at the run because San Francisco's overall defense is like one of the top 3 defenses in the league. And
until Green Bay,
I didn't know they're so weak on the run.
Yeah, Green Bay exposed them.
I know that game showed it. Yeah, and it showed in the first half of the Detroit Lions game. So I don't know why, like Monty and Brandon are saying, why did you change that? Because they were getting torched. I mean, they were having a great game on the ground. Because the stats for the game was Jared Goff, 25 out of 41, 273 yards. D. Montgomery, 15 carries, 93 yards. Sam Laporta, 9 catches, 97 yards. Brock Purdy, 20 out of 31, 267 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. McCaffrey was the leading rusher, 20 carries, 90 yards, 2 big TDs in the second half. And then Deebo Samuel, 8 catches, 89 yards. But a lot of these stats for 49ers all came in the second half. So when they started getting the momentum. So I can't believe it. I'm just shocked in their coach. I like him, but I call a guy like him just a meathead. Like, when you can't change your mind, you can't like change what you're doing. Like, you're just a meathead. Like, So
here's my kind of thoughts. San Francisco comes down the first or the second half and just drives the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Detroit shuts them down to allow a field goal.
Yep.
when Detroit gets the ball back, I mean, I'm yelling at the TV, don't do it, Campbell. When he's going to go for it for fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
You have the chance. Sure, I just looked up this stat. This year the Lions were 15 of 20 converting 4th and 3. Their kicker in his career is 45% from 45 yards or beyond. So even with that, though, I think it's more of a momentum shifter if you go for fourth down and don't get it than if you try to attempt a field goal and miss it.
Right. I agree.
Right.
And sure, he's done that all year, but this is one game to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the Lions have never been there. This is their chance.
You've got to get the 3-score game. I don't care, by saying you can put the, go for the jugular, getting a touchdown, you're still going to be a 3-score game.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the difference? I mean,
well, it's 4 more points, but
between 17 and 21, yeah. That's the biggest one I had a concern with.
Mm-hmm.
Although you've got to tie that game.
The second one was the biggest meathead one. I thought out of the 3, I thought the second one was like boneheaded. You're down 27-24. Like I said,
you've
got to kick it. You got to give your team back some confidence. At that point,
you've got to give your team a chance.
You got to give them a chance. You got to kick that ball, and that kick was a
lot.
Although
you can say the second half you weren't doing nothing, San Francisco had everything. So if you go into overtime, you better hope you win the toss. That game would be over. San Francisco would take it down. I mean, I just think he could have made different decisions, but more on the first one I have more of a problem with because
because that started the whole avalanche.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, like Kevin said, you have that interception that should have been picked.
Yeah.
You have a couple drop balls that would have extended drives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say the most underrated player of the whole game though was Brock Purdy, and I hate saying it, but he was playing chess with guys that were playing checkers out there. He was so alert of what was going on. There were a couple plays that I watched that he saw that his players were committing fouls, that if he would have thrown the ball, it would have been an OPI. But instead, he went and took almost like just a 1-yard sack to keep it alive to avoid getting that penalty. He was just aware of what was going on everywhere on the field all at once. It was incredible watching him. And I hate to say it because I can't stand the Niners, but
I don't like the Niners either, but I have always been obsessed with, since I started watching football and watching the draft and getting into, like, what a story for Mr. Irrelevant. And, it kind of feels like an underdog story, even though I don't know how you can say getting drafted in the NFL makes you an underdog, but like, because you're drafted, not everybody gets drafted, but when you're Mr. Irrelevant, that's your title, and you end up being, and he looked like a veteran. He looked like he belonged there. He didn't look like he was, a last minute thought. But I agree. I am not a fan at all of, actually my 2 least favorite teams are the 2 that are in the Super Bowl right now. And that might not be true. I'm not a huge, I don't know. Anyways, but as of right now, I'm like, I don't know who to vote for, because there's the Mr. Irrelevant, like, yummy story in that for me. But then there's nothing good about that. There's the Travis Kelce sort of like Taylor Swift story in the Chiefs winning. I don't know. I just feel like that I don't want to celebrate anything.
You're
about
not a Seahawks fan, Robin. If you can't decide,
I cannot decide. I'm like, can they both lose? Like, can we just both lose?
No, we'll get to it.
I
just think that
Detroit Lions just screwed up the whole entire thing, because if the Detroit Lions were in the Super Bowl, like 95% of the country would be going for the Detroit Lions. But Dan Campbell, you screwed the pooch on this one, buddy, because everyone would have had your back. Everyone would have had your back.
I do have to say that I think for me watching the game, and I'm not a football I am a football person, but I don't like to like claim that I am and like know anything about actual football. But I really kind of like I put this loss on the coach. Like I feel like
Absolutely.
that like he made bad
Absolutely.
calls and he's supposed to lead his team to win and they have to execute. But if he makes these calls like that, they're like if they would have made those plays, he would have been a hero, but they didn't. And now, I don't know.
Do they have
And I just feel like
Say, Robin, you're a referee. Now you have to tell people you know everything about football.
Yeah,
I know, right? Like I when I say nothing about, I'm talking about X's and O's. I know about the fouls and the plays and where they're supposed to be and what it's supposed to look like. But when it comes to strategy, like my son asked me about they did the flag football girls. They're looking for a female coach back when they started. My son's like, you should do it, Mom. And I'm like, I don't know football. He's like, how do you not know football and you're a ref? And I'm like, no, I don't know strategy of football. My husband's the coach.
I see what you're saying.
Like, so I don't know, like, and I love like to watch it, but I just think that like all of the sad stories that we have of Detroit and the way that their seasons have ended and games have ended over the years, it was like this was the year that they were going to finally do it. They were going to conquer it, and then Dan Campbell was going to be the one to like push them out of this like fog of the like black cloud over Detroit. That's all, they always find a way to lose, and then he was the reason that they found a way to lose. It's just, it was, that part is very sad for me. I feel like.
Well, Eminem was even going to games and they had this famous rap song keep on playing. One of my favorite songs by him, Lose Yourself. And I love that song. And that's a great hype song before a game. They're playing it like crazy in Detroit, but they've lost this. Like, it's your one chance. It's like it says in his rap song. It is your one chance to blow, whatever he says. So, they screwed it up. So, it's unfortunate. Do they have the talent to make the playoffs for the next several years? Absolutely. They have a very good young team. But the thing is, will you win in the playoffs? Like, how far will you get in the playoffs? Like I said before, Cowboys, Buffalo Bills, all these teams have not had a lot of success after they lost some big games. So
you never know what happens. That 17 game season it takes a toll on a team. You never know who's going to get injured and what's going to happen that's going to keep you from making it into the playoffs.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. Well, Monty, I'm going to turn it over to you for the Super Bowl stuff. Let's do that, brother. Super Bowl time.
All right. The whole reason why we're here, we're talking about the Super Bowl coming up. Man, I could have chose hundreds of these, but like coin toss and all that stuff. But no, I just kept it strictly with football. I do have one weird one that you guys might laugh at me about. Well, I have about 7 of them here. And then at the end, what we'll do is we'll pick our winners and the score. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So let's see. What do y'all think? Who's going to be the first player to score a touchdown? And let's start with Robin.
I'm going to go with the crowd pleaser, Travis Kelce.
Kelce? All right. How about you, Ken?
I got Christian McCaffrey.
I'm going with Mahomes. Quarterback sneak, or he's going to run in from the 5-yard line. He's going to score first.
That's not expected.
Yeah. Brandon, what's up, man?
I'm going with Isaiah Pacheco.
That's a good one.
Right. How about you, Kevin?
I think I've got to go Debo.
That's a good one. All right, Paul. What do you think? David.
Rashid Rice.
Ooh. KC receiver. Yeah, he's talented. Absolutely. Nice.
All right. Got another one for you. Who's going to have more receiving yards between Rashid Rice and Brandon Ayuk? Talk to me, Ken. What's up?
That's a tough one. Because San Francisco's got Debo, but Ayuk is a nice number 2.
Yeah.
Rashid Rice and Travis Kelce are good together. But I know a lot of people are probably going to say Rice, but I'm going to go the other way. I think Ayuk is going to have a big game. I'm picking Ayuk. I'm going to go the underdog. Ayuk is going to do it.
I'm going to go with Rice. What do you think, Brandon?
Rice. Yeah.
All right. Kevin, what do you think, man?
I'm going to go for option C, George Kittle.
That's a good one. We'll go with both on that one. All right. We'll put you down for Kittle. Dave.
Rice.
Okay. This one might be obvious. I'm not too sure. Isaiah Pacheco, plus or minus 85 yards. Yeah. I think he's going to be under.
Yeah.
Over.
All right.
San Francisco defense is terrible.
Okay. Brandon?
I'm gonna go under because I feel like Kansas City's gonna mix it up with Edwards-Helaire getting some snaps in there.
All right. What do you think, Robin?
I'm with Dave. San Francisco can't stop them. I'm gonna go over.
Okay. Who's left? Kim?
I'm with Dave and Robin. I think he'll be over because the San Francisco run defense has been exposed. If they don't run the ball, they're idiots.
All right. So who's your Super Bowl MVP pick, Brandon?
Mahomes.
All right. About you, Kevin?
I'm going to go with Purdy.
Ooh.
Dave?
Mahomes.
All right. Robin?
Oh my gosh, I hate it when a quarterback wins the MVP because I just feel like it's so cliche. However, the idea of Mr. Irrelevant winning the Super Bowl MVP sounds enticing to me, except for he plays for the 49ers, so I just can't do that. So I'm going to go again back to my favorite and my friend's like longtime love affair with Travis Kelce.
All right.
And I think that he proposes to Taylor Swift when he gets his trophy.
Good call.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
Good call.
oh.
Wow. What do you think, Kim?
This is hard. I'm divided between McCaffrey and Mahomes, but you get to pick the team who you think is going to win the game. So, I'll go Mahomes. So, that's one reason I think KC is going to win, but that's later. But yeah, because that's one way he can be the MVP is if he wins. So I'll go Mahomes. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the limb here, and the name escapes me. The defensive player for Kansas City. The one that didn't sign.
Their defensive tackle and whatever his name is.
Chris Jones?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, he could be a huge factor. Yeah. That's a good call.
I love seeing defensive guys win the MVP.
Yeah.
That'll be the first time in a long time.
Yeah. All right. Christian McCaffrey, plus or minus 130 total yards. Total
what?
Yards.
Total yards.
Christian McCaffrey, plus or minus 130 total yards.
Okay.
You think, Dave?
Minus.
All right.
Kansas City defense too tough.
Okay. What do you think, Kevin?
I think he's going to be plus. I think he's one of those guys that you can get the ball in his hands in too many different ways that there's no way he doesn't have that many yards.
All right. How about you, Brandon?
Under 130, but he'll have over 100.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree. Same thing. You think, Ken?
I think he'll have over because just like Kevin said, they could stuff him like 15 times in a row, but if he gets one big one, they'll put him over. He could run or catch, and he breaks tackles like crazy. That guy's hard to bring down, so I think he'll be over.
All right.
I'm team over too. I think that Christian McCaffrey is so good. I hate that he's on the 49ers, but I don't think you can keep him down.
All right. All right. This is my weird one. Plus or minus 4, how many times they show Taylor Swift during the game?
How many? What's the over-under on this one?
Plus or minus 4.
Oh, that's way over.
Way
Over.
Over.
You should have picked like 20 or something.
Okay.
It's CBS in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
CBS loves Taylor.
I think we all agree there. Over.
I think
Anybody under? I don't think so. Just during the game now.
I think I saw a prop bet that was saying they were expecting them to show her 4 times just in the national anthem.
Oh, no.
If she makes it to the game, she might be late.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's
coming from
Japan, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna be
Speaking of national
jet-lagged.
anthem, isn't Reba McEntire doing the national anthem?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
How long what's the over under for that time?
How
Is
long?
it,
Oh, that's right.
Isn't it usually
see that.
205? Isn't that what they usually set it at?
205? She doesn't seem like she's gonna draw that long.
No.
I don't think so.
It's
I
not
think
her
she'll
style.
be pretty traditional. I
Yeah.
hope she's pretty traditional because that's what I
Yeah.
always want to see about the national anthem. But so that's why I think it'll be good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
I
can
think
see
she can
under
keep it
2
short.
minutes. Yeah, I can see under 2 minutes.
All right. All right. The whole reason why we're having this show. We'll start with our guest, Robin.
Oh, I don't want.
right.
Can I just say I don't want either one of them to win? And I really like. There's part of me just like in the whole spirit of like that's not even the right spirit, but just the NFC West having the Super Bowl, something feels good about that it's our division, but
All right.
nothing feels good about saying the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm tired of the Chiefs. And the only reason why I might be leaning more towards the 49ers is only because not who I think is going to win, just who I want to win
Purdy.
or who I want to win less is I think I'm going to go more like Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. I like that story, and I'm going to claim the NFC West. So that's the only reason why I will ever pick the 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. What do you think the score will be?
Oh, God. I think it's going to be close. It'll be like 13-14.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's low scoring.
Low
All right.
score. Although maybe it's going to be like 34-33. I don't know.
All right. What you got, Ken? Who's going to win and what's the score going to be?
Obviously, I don't like the 49ers like almost everyone here because they're rivals of both of our teams, the Cowboys and the Seahawks. A lot of bad blood. 49ers have not won a Super Bowl since 1994, by the way. It's been a long time. I do like the Brock Purdy effect, though, that Robin's talked about. I hate their team, but I like the Mr. Irrelevant story. I love it. The guy's a big underdog. I'm always an underdog. I've been an underdog my whole life, so I like underdogs. But with all that being said, as much as I would like to see Brock Purdy get it, I think Mahomes will get I think Patrick Mahomes will get his 3rd ring, and the score is going to be 23-20 Kansas City.
All right. What you got there, Brandon?
All right. Well, I got this parlay ticket right here. And I've got an anytime touchdown from Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown Travis Pacheco, under 47.5 total points, with Brock Purdy under 245.5 passing yards, because this is the best Chiefs defense that we've had in a long time, and I think they're going to shut them down. I have Patrick Mahomes over 262.5 passing yards, because that's what he'll need to get MVP. And I have the Chiefs winning with a score of 27-17, which that's not in the ticket, but pays out $1,300. So we'll see if I'm a winner.
Hey.
That's nice.
Rooting for you, Brandon.
Yeah.
How about it, Kevin?
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to join Robin on this. I'm gonna have to go with the Niners winning this one. Kind of same thing. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know, and I really don't want to get to know the Chiefs any more than I know them already. So I'm gonna stick with the Niners and hope that if they get a win, that it tears their team apart, and they can't afford to keep everybody, and they gotta sell out and all of that. I've got them winning 27-24.
All right.
This game.
All right. How about it, Dave?
So, you guys are not Seahawk fans, sorry. Uh, so just
I know
one
I'm
real
not. I never
quick
claimed
thing
to be.
back to the national anthem with Reba McEntire. I got a little stat for you if you want to put it on your too bad it's too late to put it on your parlay, Brandon.
Yeah.
But the over under is 90.5. Reba
Oh.
has done 3 major championship national anthems. None of it's been over 83 seconds.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. I like that.
So back to football. Obviously being a Seahawk fan, I am not going to choose the 49ers. For these reasons. Mahomes is 11-0 in domes.
Oh,
When it's
forgot
out of
about that.
turnover, he's 25-1. The NFC has lost in the last 10 Super Bowls, the NFC is 2-7-1 against the spread. The last 5 teams favored in every game this year, like 49ers were, including the playoffs. The last 5 teams who went to the Super Bowl doing that are 0-5. For those reasons, Kansas City is going to come up top, 23-17.
All right. All right. As a Cowboy fan, there's no way I'm picking San Francisco.
Right on, Monty.
You know, if they win this game, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be in bed in the field position the whole night, just cry my eyes out, I'm sure, because I don't want them to pass up Dallas in Super Bowl wins. But
Neither do I,
no
brother.
way,
Neither
man.
do I.
Yeah. So, oh man, yeah, I expect I'm hoping for a shootout, but both of these teams' defenses outside of San Francisco's run defense, not that bad. So I expect a defensive game. I'm going 2014 KC.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So what? I had KC, you had KC, Dave has KC, then Robin and Kevin have San Francisco. Is that what I heard? Did I hear that right?
Yep.
All right.
Did Brandon have somebody? Who'd Brandon have? Or
I
did
had
he just have a
KC.
score? Okay.
I had
KC,
KC.
what, 27-17, you said?
Yeah. Actually, I got another stat like Dave had for you Seahawks fans to hate you to make you hate the Niners more.
Oh God.
They've been the favorite. They have been the favorite in every game this season, and their social media team put out that they were big on that the world's against them and they're underdogs and this little cheesy hype video.
How is that?
Pretty funny.
I think part of the reason I'm also picking them is I think I've only gotten one game right this off season. So by me picking them, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
So
this
Brandon,
season I've
go ahead, Robin.
Well, this season I've chosen most of my picks aside from the Seahawks, by the color of the uniform and how, like, the first week I did picks with my school, I chose all by like which color I liked more. And
Sound like my mom.
It's gone really well for me, but I can't do it this way because they're both the same colors, and I'm just
I love it though. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my mom you said that. I love it, Robin.
It did actually really the one time that I chose my favorite colors, they're like, "Hey, you won." I was like, "What? I won?" And they're like, "Yeah, what's your strategy?" Whatever. Like the other girl who won the whole season, she did an AI thing that picked for her, which I felt like should have not been legal. But I was like, I just picked my color of the uniforms, and like Detroit and the Ravens were always ones that I chose because those are like my two favorite colors right now. And
nice. I didn't know you were making clothes like that, Robin, but that's cool. But you do sound a lot like my mom. So in a good I mean that totally in a good way. My mom's an awesome lady.
Thanks.
No, but my mom used to say funny things like, "Mommy, watch the movie." She's like, "Oh, I'm listening to it. I'm watching it." Like she's sleeping, but she says she's listening to it. And then
my mom used to always say,
when I was a kid, she said the same thing. Like, "Mom, who are you gonna pick win this game?" Like, "Oh, whoever has the favorite colors. You know, whichever colors I like better, whichever jersey looks better." And then
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's that I don't like to study and actually think through it. And I'm usually wrong anyways. But I feel like that I don't know.
My wife's gonna be like, who? My wife is more about good-looking guys. That's why she said she likes soccer better than football and other sports. 'Cause she likes soccer players. She's like, oh, football players are too big, and she likes soccer players because they're more trim and kind of like cut and real good physical stamina and everything. Those guys can run 8 miles a game and crap. It's crazy.
We can't even we had last year. Well, I don't even know what last, but a lot of my girlfriends in our group that we have a big Seahawks group, and we all are knowledgeable Seahawks or like football fans. However, we do have conversations about the, who has the best looking coach and those things, and that we can't even have this conversation about these teams. So we're just, everything about this Super Bowl I'm not a fan of. I want them all to lose. I mean, I do like Christian McCaffrey. I do like Travis Kelce sort of, but I'm like, it's just not. I'm here for the commercials this year.
Well, Travis Kelce.
I want to see the refs. Where are they going to be?
Yeah. I see why women like Kelce though, like I told Monty, because good looking guy. They call him white chocolate. He can dance. He's very, he's entertaining. He's cocky. He's got confidence. He's kind of a bad boy kind of sort of image, which women like kind of sort of. At least that's what it seems like to me. But yeah, he's cool, man. He's like Mr. Joe Cool, man. So
yeah, I've never been too much of a Travis Kelce friend. One of my best friends, Sheila, she calls him her sexual white chocolate. That's her thing. Like that's her white boyfriend that she's gonna go to. But she just, her husband is a Chiefs fan though. So I don't know where she's at on I mean, obviously she's a Chiefs fan, but with Travis Kelce, I don't know. I don't know. Like I do like Christian McCaffrey, although I've never.
He's got the whole pretty boy image going. He looks like he's 12 years old. Yeah.
He does. And I was like, we were talking about Brock Purdy, and I'm like, oh, Brock Purdy, I wish he was cute. I want him to be a cute, quarterback. So we could be like, oh, he's just so cute. And everybody, he does. He looks like a 12-year-old. So I'm like, he doesn't have, but Christian McCaffrey is.
Have you seen all the comparisons to him and the Harbaughs? How there were all the jokes that he's the third Harbaugh?
I have not.
Looks exactly like John Harbaugh.
Oh yeah,
he does have that look. Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those, but yeah, he does kind of have that look. I don't know. I just feel like it'll be interesting that our storylines from the Super Bowls.
But evidently, Christian McCaffrey doesn't have enough money to buy his mom a suite in this stadium.
What?
So
what?
Wow.
He had a big deal going to the 49ers from Carolina Panthers. No way.
Yeah, because his girlfriend or his model fiance or whatever paid for.
Oh my God!
Because Lisa McCaffrey said her son can't even afford it. It's like what he makes $60-some million.
His dad played in the NFL.
It's like, come on, dude.
That's not what she said.
That's the Alabama.
Yes, it was.
He said it was too expensive. That's it. They're just smart with their money.
No, she said that her son can't even afford it.
His dad played in the NFL. He comes from a football family. Like the dude.
I know.
The average Super Bowl ticket's like $9,000.
It's crazy.
I remember last watching that Kelce show that they spent like $50,000 or something on the tickets that they had to buy because they had to buy their kids tickets for the game and all the things. It was like I was like, oh my word!
I would love to go at least one Super Bowl in my lifetime, but it's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. The Super Bowl has become more of a spectacle than for fans. You know, many years ago, my brother went to the Super Bowl with the Redskins and the Raiders down in San Diego. He won tickets on the Seattle Times football forecast. He was the grand prize winner. You know, they can never afford to do that. Anybody can afford to do that anymore. Right. You know, sure, it's a crap Super Bowl, but he went to the Super Bowl because of that. You know, where you can't, if an average fan can't do that anymore.
You almost have to try to get your tickets a couple years ahead of time because they're so impossible to get.
Yeah.
Right.
When the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl, in whatever it was,
New York.
I remember I don't remember which one it was. I could. It probably wasn't Super Bowl 40. I'm guessing it was the first one that we went to in 2004. So that was 48. We were we had friends on Facebook, of course. One of our friends had won the lottery and they were selling their tickets for like $1,300. And my husband's like, we could do that, 1,300. And I'm like, are you freaking crazy? But I'm like, okay, if you say we can do it, you're the finance guy. Like, okay. So I messaged the friend back, oh, they're gone now. And I'm like, okay, because you've realized that is, you could get more than double that for your tickets. So, you know, it's just, it's really sad that that's not a thing that fans, you know, of the team can actually go,
Right.
but it's just
all corporate people. Yep.
Yep. That's too bad.
And that stadium in Las Vegas, those tickets are just their ticket prices are outrageous just for a regular game in that stadium.
It's in the gambling city of the world, man. So
the food's cheap though.
Lost weight just about.
Yeah, the food's cheap in there, but yeah, it's expensive to get in the building. It's a cool venue though. It's really cool in there.
Nice. Cool. Well, all right, people, let's close. But this was a great show.
Yes,
I loved it. So what I got for in closing is, like always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you got any ideas, let us know. Make comments, good or bad, how to make it better. Things you agree with, things you disagree with. You agree with our picks, you don't agree with our picks. Doesn't matter what you like, dislike. Just let us know. And you know, thanks for watching. We just do this for fun with friends, and maybe one day we'll get big. But more than that, more than likely, we're just doing it for fun. So that's all it's all about. Just good conversation with good people. You got anything in closing, Monty?
Oh, you covered it all, man. Thank you all. Have fun. Let's enjoy that Super Bowl.
That was fun. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, of course. Dave, Kevin, you got anything? Brandon?
I got one last thing. After everybody out there that's watching this, after watching the Super Bowl, if you didn't agree with any calls, reach out to your local officiating crews and get signed up, learn how to be a ref.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always recruiting. I like that,
Kevin. Baby.
Speaking of that, in my opinion, you got the most confident white hat out there this Super Bowl weekend, and Bill Vinovich. I mean, that guy's so fun to watch.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well, that's it. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll sign off. Everyone have a good night.